Let's talk about the default sniper rifle, the SVD. The SVD has a very high damage rating, so even if you don't get headshots, you can quite honestly rapid fire bullets at the enemy, and if you hit them between like 2 to 3 times, you will kill them. This means that at most ranges, like, there is really no shame in not getting headshots with this gun, because you can kill someone in directly 2 chest shots. If you happen to hit them in the limbs, like the arms or the legs, it'll take 4 shots. But of course, if you're firing at a moving target and you happen to hit them in the chest, and then you hit them in the arm, this will bring the shots to kill down from 4 to 3. And I'm going to show you some real world examples of this, because quite frankly, you really should not be ashamed to not land headshots with a gun that kills in this amount of bullets. And when you're aiming at moving targets, you may not even be able to see the opponent's head, it may be very difficult to hit them, but as long as you can aim for center mass and fire and make sure those shots hit, you're going to do a lot of damage. Let's discuss the Mosin Nagant. The Mosin Nagant is one of the default sniper rifles in the game. Now, it is a non-lethal weapon, so damage the weapon does stamina damage instead of lethal damage. There are a variety of upsides to doing this, because if you stun a target, you get a set amount of points, and then killing a target also gives you additional points. So if you're really good at the game, you can aim to stun people, make the most of that by using something like Scan EX, and then kill a target to make sure that each kill you get gives you a lot of points. The other reason you may want to use the Mosin Nagant is the pigeon title requires that you stun more people than you kill. Now of course the downside is that because the Mosin Nagant is a bolt action rifle, you have to re-bolt the weapon after every shot. But there is actually a way around this. After a shot, if you perform a backstep, you will skip the bolting animation. You can use this to remain incredibly mobile while using the weapon. Which I recommend is the main way to use it, is after every shot, you want to basically reposition yourself. And you can aim for body shots because of the amount of damage it does per shot.
Get a hold of yourself.
Like a single body shot with the Mosin will do 80% of their stun bar, which I'll show now. This makes it really hard for the enemy to aim back at you because their aiming is going to be very, very wobbly because their stamina is low. And a second shot anywhere on the body will stun them. This makes the weapon incredibly good at a very niche and specific playstyle. And mainly if you're aiming for the pigeon emblem, I would recommend using the weapon for that purpose. Let's talk about the M14 EBR. In the early patches of MGO, this weapon was the best in the game. Konami had to release about 2 to 3 different patches in the life cycle of the game to nerf this weapon in particular, and even after all of those nerfs, I still think it's the best weapon in the game because of its severe versatility. The weapon can be used as a close-range, fully automatic weapon. The problem is though that its recoil is a bit jumpy, kind of like the AK. But if you can handle the recoil of an AK, you can handle the recoil of the M14. And a lot of the tactics to handle the recoil also apply to the M14, where instead of holding down the trigger, you can tap fire to fire smaller bursts of shots. One of the other benefits of this weapon is that it is a sniper rifle. The scope, combined with the very low amount of recoil, means that should you happen to miss a headshot, you can autocorrect very, very easily. And this is really the strength of the weapon, is that you don't have to worry about not exactly landing your shots, because you can just continue to chase down targets, and if you think you're going to get a headshot, just tap the fire button, And if you get it, that's good. If you don't get it, you can just keep on chasing. One of the other advantages of the weapon is if you happen to be prone, the gun has pretty much no recoil. This makes it the most accurate long-range weapon in the game that is fully automatic, but I do generally advise against going prone because it does limit your mobility quite a lot. But it is the kind of gimmick that can win you some engagements if someone isn't expecting it. Because, you know, you're shooting a high volume of bullets, which do an okay amount of damage, with no recoil. Like, you can just spray in someone's direction. Which really is a strength of the gun, is the very low amount of recoil, the high amount of bullets, and the potential to headshot at pretty much any distance makes it a very good gun. Now, one of the downsides, however, is, as I said, the jumpy recoil makes it kind of hard to handle in close quarters. The other downside in comparison to the SVD is, while the SVD does kill in 2 body shots, the M14 takes 4 chest shots to kill. So it's about half the damage of the SVD shots per shot. But honestly, given the upsides of the weapon, I don't think this is really much of an issue. The VSS was a weapon that was added in one of the expansion packs to MGO. While the weapon does operate very similar to the M14, in that it kills in 4 body shots, it is also a fully automatic weapon, but the downside is that the recoil is very, very heavy. I would fire it in very short bursts for single fire shots, but similar to other sniper rifles, if you're prone, the recoil is reduced heavily. Now, while it has a lot of similarities to the M14, the unique factor for the VSS is the tranquilizer rounds. You now have a sniper rifle that fires extremely quickly, and you don't have to clock shots in between like the Mosin Nagant, and you can stun very, very quickly. This opens up an alternative playstyle where you can use this weapon to get get stuns if you're aiming for something like Pigeon Rank, or you want to use something like Scanner EX. The DSR-1 is the most expensive of the sniper rifle weapons that regular characters can purchase. It does take quite a while to cock between each shot, but there is a trick to this. Similar to the Mosin Nagant, after you fire, you can backstep out. This does increase your mobility of the weapon, and it kills in a singular body shot, and also does extreme damage to limbs as well. So if you catch someone in your arms, it'll do 70% of their health. So you generally want to aim for the person's torso, and aim for center mass. One of the other very nice things with this weapon is that it does have a very high penetration value. So you can shoot through multiple enemies and do very high amounts of damage. You can even kill multiple enemies at once if you get a perfect lineup shot.